Hello everyone. Let's continue for the part 2 of the syllabus. Okay. So the next one we want to talk about the course materials. So basically the first one, the textbook, we just mentioned about for a lot. Okay? We talk about its contents and our covered chapters, the chapters to be covered in our course. So this is the book. Okay, I also have the book here. Okay, that's the textbook. It's very thick. I mentioned it's 1,000 pages. Yeah, and also this is the latest version, just published this year, 2020. Okay, and another important thing about this book is that besides reading the book before and after the lectures, I also recommend, also required you to visit its homepage, the book homepage. Okay, I already opened this one. Yes, the same. So besides this table of contents we mentioned, we also want to raise your attention. You need to download the code here. So all the latest codes have been implemented, have been saved in this GitHub repository. So especially like it has several different languages, using different languages. Mainly we consider the Python, this one. Okay, so though it also has Java or Scala, Lisp. Okay, other program languages. So you need to go to this link and then click this one, download all of them as a package. Okay, so this is important. Of course, if you may prefer Java or some other program language, you can also download the code accordingly. You need to take care of the code state. For example, this one you can find the Python code, maybe it's the latest one, you can find 2 months ago. Okay, if for others I'm not quite sure, you need to check. Right? Some may be already obsolete. The other issue is that they don't cover the same contents. So for example, maybe this Java code is not complete, not as complete as the Python one. Okay, you need to look at, just look at those. Okay, so when we have projects, I will further instruct you how to utilize these resources. So before that, you can start the exploration of this one. So Scala is I think in data science we use this one a lot. Okay, and the Lisp is a specified AI program language. Lisp, you can just think about it as like a table, like a list. And Junior and some other program, C#. Okay, so this is about the code. And the other things you can find is the pseudocode. Though the pseudocode is also available in your book, okay? So here list all the algorithms pseudocode. In the appendix of a book, it also lists rules how to write a pseudocode. If you have finished the algorithm course, then you should be able to know this. But if you haven't, you need to read the appendix to understand how to write a pseudocode. In fact, maybe it is also required, right? Required for your project or even homework. Sometimes I need to have your pseudocode rather than the last implementations, because pseudocode will represent the algorithms, doesn't depending on any specific program language. Okay, so look at this one. And also you have, if you have interest, you can look at some reference courses that for instructors. somebody offer this course, it's over the world, so maybe you can look at their offerings as well to find your maybe other interesting things. Especially like you can find out, because this book was written by Berkeley professors, right? Berkeley professors. I think maybe both are Berkeley, or yeah, maybe one is a teacher, the other one is a student, I believe, maybe. Yeah. So it's Berkeley professors, and then they offered in Berkeley, and the author offered one as well. I believe it's this one, correct? The author, the Stuart Rachel. This is, of course, maybe mainly offered by another student or lecturer or something, someone. Okay, so you can look at this one as well. My slides will be different from this one, but maybe sometime maybe I use some of them. In fact, it also provides some older, excuse me, some older version slides before, but maybe it's too simple, so usually we have to expand it. Okay, so this is a good reference. Anyway, you can just have a look at this one as well. Okay. So, and also you can explore other things. Just look at, okay, the older version. This is addition. Okay, the older version, maybe it's couldn't find it here. I have the older version as well. So this book is also good. Yeah, this is the third. This last year I used this one, but you know this is 2010, right? So that means it's a little bit old. So this one we need to use the latest one. The knowledge has been updated and also extended, right? And extended by several chapters written by experts in that field. For example, I mentioned kind of computer vision, deep learning, reinforcement, maybe not reinforcement, robotics, and so on. When you read the preface of the book, you should be able to know that one. Okay. I also want to confirm, I think maybe the other issue is that this version, I believe they moved the exercise online as well. So I need to confirm this one. If like that, you also need to refer to this one to do the homework, right? If not wrong, I believe I record, because I have two courses. Sometimes maybe I mess up, don't know, maybe both textbook, operating system, and this one, they move the exercise of the book online. Yes, that's correct. So you can find here there's no exercise like the previous. Otherwise, because you can find the book has been expanded, otherwise the book will be even thicker. Okay, even thicker. Yes, there's no. So you can find unit the summary and then the references. So let me see where is the homework. I believe I ever came across that one. Okay, so the exercise, I didn't cross it. Content, no. Yeah, exercise is here. That's correct. So that's important. So you go from the beginning, cut exercise, click this one, and then for example, if I assign homework, for example, introduction, I said it's exercise 1.1, 1.3. So you need to find the exercises here, and then do the homework. Okay. So this is important. Okay. So that means this will save the papers, can save the papers, and then can cover more contents. And this is good. It's open to to everybody. Okay? And another important thing is that everybody can submit recommended exercises. That's why they want to expand this exercise. But I found most of them maybe still the same as the previous. That means at least for the several previous several late front chapters, maybe first several 2 or 3. Okay. That means you can submit some other exercise. Okay, this is the important one, and then you can just, for example, sometimes you want to use the figures, and then you can open this one, the PDF figure. So just contains all the figures in the textbook. Okay, a bit slower. So this maybe is related, important. Sometime maybe you need to demonstrate something. Okay, we'll finish your homework. Okay, let's go back to slow. That's it. I think that's the most important thing I want to mention. The code, the pseudocode, the exercises. Okay, code, exercises, these are the most important. Pseudocode is available in the book as well. Okay, let me know if you have any problem. So this website, in fact, is also mentioned in the preface. If you have to buy the book, you need to note it down. So it's AI, artificial intelligence, and then a modern approach. So ma.cs.berkeley.edu. So then you will find this book. If you don't remember, you can just search the book name. Okay, search this one, and then it will easily lead you to the website. The second one. The first one is the Amazon book page. This one is the book website. Okay. This is the most important book and the website for us to refer. So later you will have a lot of visiting on this website. Hope you can also utilize it for your study. Okay, utilize it thoroughly. So next one, we'll talk about some optional books, optional textbooks, not reference books. Optional textbook, that means you can find it, which will be helpful for you to understand some topics. For example, here I list the first one is for machine learning. So we call this is a very famous machine learning book, The Elements of Statistical Learning. I believe the PDF is free online. So that means you click this one, you can download it. So this one is this book. Okay, this book. It's a lot of very thick, but this one covers the most important ideas about machine learning. Okay, basically it covers maybe different types of machine learning techniques, and also, but it mainly focused on the statistical learning. Okay, you can download this book. This is free. Right? It's legal. You can have the electronic version, and then this is the book. The contents, I think we may just involve some of it. Especially this is good. It's good for your learning, your self-learning. If you have interest in learning the machine learning part, so this will help you to start. Besides the book, because anyway our book is AI, a lot of machine learning book. So that means this one will cover mainly just focus on machine learning, like a linear method based on linear regression model. So when I finish my master degree in the applied mathematics, so they have one course called regression. Okay, regression, just about this one, just fitting. Okay? If you have learned statistics is just like a fitting. And then we have color method, maybe like the support vector machine, and the boosting like the tree. So this is something we also have add hoc method. We combine several classifier together, so add boost. So we have neural networks and let's support vector machines. And then we talk about unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning, that means you don't have any labeled data. You need to explore by yourself. So many clustering will be the part. In fact, when we talk about the introduction about learning chapter, we also involve this one about what is the different types of learning methods: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and semi-supervised learning. So semi means I give you some examples for some classes, but maybe not all. So you need to learn by yourself for others. And the random forest, so you have multiple classifiers. In Zamblin learning, similar idea, just combine several things together, and something else. Okay, the advanced topics. So you can just have a look at this one. Yeah, I think this book is quite famous, especially in the data science major, because they need to learn some machine learning techniques. So these techniques are very popular in data science, especially to deal with data, okay, using some mathematical methods. It also involves neural networks, but they may not it may not cover deeply about deep learning. It's about most is about the common shallow neural networks, not deep neural networks. Okay, this is this book, and then continue. So this one is also free, available online. So I offer this one just because this is free. Of course, we still have another book which is free. So this is about deep learning. I mentioned deep learning is important, but in fact this book is more famous. I believe I also list here. Later we'll talk about. But this one is good is that it may just integrate. I believe I ever came across this book. It integrated a lot of things. Maybe you can run the code as well. The book is fully online, I believe, and yeah, so it's free for you to learn. Okay, but if you want to learn the deep learning techniques, you want to know what's the most authoritative book, I will recommend this one. This is the Bible book for deep learning. Of course, though, it's you can find the right time. At the time, just deep learning is very hot, and then this previously I said the Hinton graph Hinton. So this is his student, the Yoshua Benjo. So it's from the New York University, and then his student wrote this book together with professors and maybe another person, and together this is the most useful book, yeah, when we learn this deep learning. Okay, I also read most of them. I've read most of them. Okay, so basically this book is I can say it's very thorough, and then involves theoretical way, and then just describe the contents in a detailed way. I think the book is available. You can find it here. So you can click each chapters, and then it's available online. It's also free. So it talk about the different parts of the deep learning. It's involve different type of deep learning models. For example, recurrent model, or not the just convolutional neural networks. How to train the model, and autoencoder. Just Also again, I think they also involve the adversary neural networks. Okay. So based on the, and also provide some basics for you to start. For example, involves probability, linear algebra, numerical computation. Okay. So I mentioned if you have interest in AI and want to get a job in this field, so better read more and do more for this one. Okay, because now we have a lack of workforce in this field. So if you can occupy this space, I think you have a lot of opportunities. Even in the current situation, I believe I have some friends in industry, and they told me maybe currently only 2 companies are hiring. Most, of course, that's maybe 2 or 3 months before. Just like one is Microsoft, the other one is Amazon, because Amazon maybe just have some increase in their sale. Okay, this is the Bible book I want to mention to you, just for this one. And next one is reinforcement learning. So for this book, this one also just published last year, the latest version, 2nd edition. In the past is maybe 8-10 years ago, in 2010, they have the first. So this one is focused on the reinforcement learning. Okay. So we have that chapter. I said before, reinforcement learning maybe it's the future of deep learning. That's why I think this is important, deserve our study. In fact, also there's many professors, teachers, researchers, they focus in the industry as well. Engineers, scientists focus on this part. So we said AI is too broad, so you have to focus on some. But for you, since you are an undergrad student, you may need to have a sound background. You need to know everything at least, and then you focus on some which seems interesting for you. Okay. So this is reinforcement learning. And my suggestion is that after you finish the chapter content, and then you do this one. I just forgot to mention, in fact, the Ian Goodfellow is also contributed the deep learning chapter of our textbook. That means this one contribute. So this year they invited the experts to write some chapters, especially the application module part. Yes. Okay, the last one, just for your information retrieval. I have the book, but I just put it in the office. So this is about related to computer vision and natural language processing. Okay, especially natural language processing. So it's information retrieval. Okay, just for your information. Maybe you don't need to buy the book. Okay, just know. Okay, it's also specialized in this part. Information retrieval is related to my research. Basically, my research is about 3D object retrieval. Okay, is information unit is talk about text, but for me it's 3D content. That it will be graphics. So that will be the computer vision, computer graphics, multimedia things. It's visible ones, not based on keywords and so on. But they share a lot of information. For example, like evaluation and the idea for retrieval. Okay. So maybe Google so this last page no. I mean the starter of Google, when he was a PhD student, he just developed the PageRank algorithms when he was in Stanford University. and then he quit it, and then use the not quit or quit it, you just confirm, and then use the algorithm to develop a company, so it's also in information retrieval. They don't do the retrieval when we want to search at that time. They already record all the information on that means your page information, web page information on a database. So when you give a password, your keyword, they will list all the web pages related to that keyword. So not like do the comparison or the correspondence matching in real time. They pre-record a lot of information, and then they develop a ranking algorithm, page rank. So the order doesn't matter. When you Google something, the order that you don't look at from the end to the beginning, you look at from beginning to the end. So that's the important thing, the ranking. Retrieval basically is about you have information, but you need to rank the information items according to the relatedness importance, based on this. So the idea is similar. My research is giving a query which may be image, sketch, or model. We want to rank all the 3D models, and then to help people to find the related models for further design. So next one is this one. I will recommend a lot because if you have interest in machine learning, this book is best seller in the Amazon. You can confirm maybe it's best seller. So this is the latest version called Hands-on Machine Learning with SCI Kit Learn. This is in fact it's just a package. It's a package. It's about I think it's about a machine learning part. Maybe you can confirm. I've forgotten it. But basic idea. That means basic algorithms, machine algorithms. Then Keras. So Keras, we talk about PyTorch. Keras is another one. Keras is which company? Google, Facebook, and then maybe Apple or something. Is also just mainly developed by one company, and TensorFlow we say is mainly Google. So concept, tools, and techniques to build an intelligent system. I read several chapters of this book. I think it has a good writing. It's very easy for you. It's handy. You can run its examples to learn, and also you can find the code here. If you don't buy the book is available on our library. I think in our library, at least there's one copy. I have asked the library to buy the book. Let me confirm. I think it should be the latest version, the second one. Yes, I have look at that one and then returned. So it should be available now. You can just borrow to have a look. So this one involves a lot of code as well. Training neural networks, deep learning. So this will help you to refer. For example, especially maybe you want to start your learning about deep neural networks, find some related chapters and then read it and then run the code. Maybe you also can use the code as a prototype to finish your project. So this is a good reference as well. So this one is about natural language processing, NLP. We have a chapter about this one application. So if you are interested in this part, you can just further look at this one. This book, I borrowed this one from the library. This book is very thin. I don't very recommend this book because it's too simple for me. Because it seems like doesn't cover much things. But it seems this is the only book available on the market which focus on the natural language processing with deep learning method. This is why I list it here. So focus on natural language processing. This is also, I can say, is a very hot topic currently. You can find it maybe like Microsoft, Apple, Google, many companies, they have focus on personal assistant. Okay? You have some robot which can accompany you, old people, senior people, and disabled people as well, and the blind people and so on, okay? With disabilities and so on. And also it can help us as well, not only just about that special groups. We have some even healthy people, okay? I mean, healthy means just without any disability. You need to have some personal assistance. For example, today we remind you what things, your gender, so you don't need to hire a secretary to do those things. And also, if you forgot something, you can ask the personal assistant. Okay, so you need to communicate with the robot. Okay, that's why understanding the natural language is not that easy. Sometimes you also need to answer questions. Okay, and then not only just understand. Okay, want to communicate with people. So in the future, maybe we mentioned maybe some talk about our interface, human and computer interface. We be expanded to a large scope, not only like we use keyboard, mouse, and maybe stylus, like these things. We can also communicate with the computer directly. For example, write a for loop for me first, and then insert some line commands and so on. You talk to the computer to code. That's possible. That's not like not a crazy thing. It's very possible in the near future. Okay, you just maybe lay it down and then think about the algorithm, and then tell your computer to write something. Maybe after a while you go on sleep, and and after you wake you continue. Yeah, that's possible. And then after a while you may just send the order, and then autonomous driving car will ship the goods to you, your lunch and so on. And then you also have maybe a robot which can fit you. You don't need to go up, still lay down. Okay, another one is like the Python. Because I mentioned this course is highly depending on your Python programming skills, or require a lot of, I can say this is not a Python course. I mean, if you have Python programming experience, will make you feel more comfortable to finish the projects. Otherwise, you need to first learn Python. But anyway, since I provided you the sketch of the code, the project, the code framework, so you just need to fill in the blanks. I don't think it's very challenging based on the previous experience, very challenging for you to utilize Python to finish the project, as long as you spend some time, and then at least you can refer to the book, to this website, and then find the related knowledge, finish it. For example, I need to create an array here. I need to write a loop, so you can find, because you have some higher level programming language experience. So of course, definitely you don't have problem in learning Python, because Python, the idea is a script programming language, just like you have a piece of paper. You have piece of paper, and then you target. You have paper, and then I want to, for example, write something 1 + 2 + 3 equal to something. In fact, in Python we can do that one directly. You don't need to create a variable. Okay, 1 then to a, you got 1 + 2 + 3, and then you do enter. Okay, you get the result is 6. That's it. So I will highly recommend you to, if you have no experience about Python, I highly recommend you to read this one. You don't need to read all of them, but you can read some of them, at least some of them. related. For example, start the environment, from the environment, how to install Python, how to run script, and how to run commands. Okay, so that means understand the debugging as well. You can also incorporate the Python in your IDE. For example, your Visual Studio. That's not a big issue because it's already integrated into the Visual Studio. You create a project in the Visual Studio, so that means you can still utilize your previous experience. And then now the only thing is change the grammar, change the grammar, and also if you make it much simpler than your previous one. You don't need to declare a variable before use. You just use it, and then it will recognize, okay, this is a list, this is an array, this is a loop, this is a variable, this is assignment, and so on. Okay, just read these things. I think I also almost finished all of them. So just when I learned Python. So basically, this is not hard to learn. And then the most important thing is that start early, because this week we don't have homework. I think we can only finish syllabus by today. So start does not mean we don't have a task, right? So you need to prepare well before the start. Do not delay till the time we need it. You need to like a bird, right? Getting up early, and then you can get worms to eat. Otherwise, you are lazy in your bed, and then after you get up, nothing to eat, right? So that means there's an old saying: early birds has a meal. Okay, early birds have a meal. So that's of course, I didn't say you need to compete with others. You compete with yourself. Compete yourself with your time, right? You need to arrange your time in a wisely way. Okay, this is important. And if you have any questions in learning this one, just feel free to let me know. I don't think it's hard to learn. You can try, right? It's very easy. And maybe I will provide. I have some tutorials for Python and PyTorch, TensorFlow. So I will release such materials as early as possible. Then you can start it. Okay, maybe I will release shortly. Okay. So this is for Python. Okay, I think for this course, this book Python is already enough. You don't need to purchase. I will try my best to reduce your book cost, right? And but the textbook, I think maybe is a deserved investment. Okay, in the future you may also need it if you want to continue, right? And also, it's better you need to read the book. I think if you only just listen to my lectures, you can only get maybe 70% of the knowledge what I want you have. You miss the 30% which is in the book, and also you will have a shallow impression, shallow understanding of the contents, because we cannot condense all the things into that week. 1 week is 150 minutes, right? You have to absorb the knowledge by yourself, by using time, by taking time. That's no other way, right? No other way, not a quick way. We cannot use AI to put something in your mind. It's correct. We still need to learn one by one first. 1 plus 1, and then we know 1 plus 2. So that's due to the human limitation, correct? humans limitations. Okay, this is only for reference in case you want to understand Python for scientific computation. Okay, I have this book borrowed from the library as well. And then if you want to learn Python in more comprehensive way, this is a book. But yeah, especially for example, you already have experience in Python. Now you want to further expand your learning integrated in this course. Okay, then you can just refer to this book or some other ones. This is what I think is okay. Yeah, it's a comprehensive one, but the book is itself is very thick as well. This one many pages. Okay, you can select chapters or refer to the chapters because maybe it's messy to search online, so it's easy to search on a book. And they also have some examples, in a better, in a much more organized way. And then we have reference book 2. Okay, this is reference book 1. Okay, this is about reference book 2. And then this is about deep learning with Python. That's the last book we have. Okay, I think it's also in the library. I borrowed this one. Basically, it's for reference only. If you need to look at this book, I will return, and then you can just borrow it again. Okay, this is not. I also asked the library to buy this book. This is I ever read this book. I found it's good. The problem is this book. I think they use Keras. Yes, the author of this book maybe is the inventor of Keras. That's why they use Keras. I believe maybe from Facebook as well. Okay. So this is the books. Okay. So next one we talk about the course requirements. Okay, course requirements. So I will just enhance some important things. The first one is attendance. We don't have attendance policy for face-to-face meeting, but since even this is online, okay, asynchronous way, but we require you to learn the course in a regular way, like the physical one. Okay, so I will check your campus activities, because when you log in, you stay there for how many minutes. I can find it. This is required by the university as well. So maybe you have been asked to log in into campus as well. So regular login into the campus means what? For example, I already released the materials. I expect you to download, to check out the materials within the same day or next day, at most within 2 or 3 days. But you cannot just wait for 5 days, 6 days, or even 1 week and then check out the contents. So if you often delayed the checkout, I will just send you a reminder. For example, in the summer, I taught one course. I found some student, just delayed, even till maybe 1 week, still didn't show up in campus. Okay, if you regularly one, maybe you will receive NA grade. NA means not attending, because you didn't follow, just like you didn't follow the policy for the attendance. Why you want to earn a degree in university, at university, it's just because teachers will give you some pressure. You have exams, you have sessions to finish. If you learn by yourself, just buy Coursera courses or any other mock courses, you will just give up easily, because you just only waste maybe the course fee, $50 around. But here you waste a lot, you waste a lot of investment. So that's why it's you will just care about more. And the other one is that you have people to supervise you. You have a lot of people, not only teachers. You have university staffs, a lot to make the system to help you grow. So I hope you just obey this attendance as well. So we don't have extra credit for this one, but we do have extra credit for projects, even homework. If for some special excellent implementations, I will feel very glad. I will be very glad to assign extra credit to you, to your submission. Okay. So homework will be 25%. So we have 5 homework. Each module, we have 4 modules. Each one of them will cover 1 or 2. Okay. So the 4 modules: the introduction, including the agents, and then we have search, so solving problems, and then we have learning, we have applications and ethics. Okay, these 4 modules. And the program assignment, so you can know the 5 homework, each one is 5%. Okay. And then program assignment, we have 3 assignments. Initial designs, that for search we have 1, for learning we have 2. Maybe one is about a convolutional neural network. The other one may be GAN, the generative adversarial network. Okay, and then each one is 25%. So you can find this course focus more on practice. Programming is important, and Python is important, but the concepts are also important. Algorithms are also important. Otherwise, you cannot implement the program. Okay? So this is just to enhance your understanding of the concepts, algorithms, and ideas, and also your skills in developing AI agents. Okay, AI programs. So the topics will be, for each program, will be the Python-based AI-related application programming. AI-related application programming. So in default, we use Python. If you prefer other one, maybe still possible, but based on my previous finding, usually it is more time-consuming. Somebody uses Java or C, but finally they change their mind, still go back to Python, and then feel comfortable with Python. And Python in fact is more powerful, easier, because I mentioned that Python is already have all the packages for you. If you use C, Java, C++, you need to implement that one by yourself. You may cost 1 page, but for my Python is only 1 line. So which one is good? So do not be scared to learn new things. Okay? In the future, when you are in the either industry or in the academic to continue another degree, you need to learn new things. Okay? Just open to learn new things, have challenging things. This will make you grow. If you do the same things, you don't grow. Okay? You just waste your time. You just use time to trade for your salary. But if you do some challenging things, you grow, and then you can earn more. So that's the important thing. We need to grow. We need to lead ourselves to have a better life tomorrow, future. Okay. So I hope my design is good for you, and then you feel you agree with my teaching philosophy. You feel rewarding in my classes. Okay. And then this one is the type, okay? Short answer questions. So basically, you can find those things in the homework, in the book. Okay? I mentioned to you the exercise. I may use some of them, but maybe sometime maybe designed question by me, or some previous examination questions. Okay, since we don't have examination, we don't have midterm and final. So maybe I put the midterm final examination questions in the homework. So still test you, but it's open book. Okay. You may use any advanced programming language for programming assignments, but we prefer Python. The focus is on problem solving, not programming itself. Okay. Just consider the relationship. It's a tool. Okay, it's a tool to implement the algorithms to enhance your understanding of the concepts and the algorithms. Submission value is only canvas, so I think you already familiar with this scheme. We only have canvas as the submission value. I prefer electronic ones always. So maybe I will grade by print it out and then scan it for convenience. But you need to submit in electronic version. Okay. And then academic integrity policy. So just remind you, do not copy the code from website. If I found any such cases, you will have a serious problem. Not only deduct a point from your score, maybe I report to Miss Tom Ratio, even to our school, okay, director. We have a new director now. You may want to discuss with her. Okay, so this is important. I want to see your efforts. Even you are not doing a perfect project, if your efforts are there, you will get points. But if you cheat, okay, you will lose a lot. Okay, you take the risk for your future. Usually I don't have such problem, but I still occasionally can still find some students, maybe 1 or 2, cheating in my exams or cheating in homework, even copy the instruction manual answers. Okay, do not do this one again. If I find it again, you may have a problem to have this issue, because this is our policy, that is academic integrity policy. Okay, if I in the future, in the past, maybe I just forgive you if it's the first time, but if I find you repeated the same mistakes, so you take advantage of my kindness, then I have to take action. Okay. And the next one, course topics. So this is just a list of things that we mentioned before. Okay? The first one is the introduction module. This is the part 1. So we talk about concepts. What is AI? How to define AI? And its history. So this AI is come from 1956. I think it should be 1956. So it already lasted for 60 years, more than 60 years. Okay, we want to go through its history. And the agents, do not think this is fair. Is agent is you find some want to buy a house is agent. Agent, in fact, you can think about it is really like a program. It has hardware and software. It maybe not a program. It's a system, AI system. It has both hardware part and the software part. For example, a robot. You have hardware. You have a program inside. So you have sensors, you have action, you have actuators. You can walk, you can kick, you can run. You have sensors in your eyes. You maybe have some other, you can listen to the environment as well. So we define an AI system as agents. So all the book just look at AI system as agents. So in fact, this is an important part in the introduction. We'll talk about 4 different types of agents. And then the search, we have 5 classes. That means 5 weeks. Okay, each week is 3 credit hours, 150 minutes. Okay, and then we search this one. You can, in fact, is initially called problem solving. Okay? So we use the search method to do the problem solving. We have uninformed search and informed search. Uninformed search, that means you don't have any prior knowledge. Informed search, that means you have some prior knowledge. You can utilize those things. And then at the first search, just consider game. You have 2 parties compete each other, so they want to defeat. Okay, we may have zero-sum game, right? Just like Donald Trump mentioned about China and the USA is a zero-sum game. If I buy more from China, I lose something. Yeah, consider whether it's zero-sum or not. Okay, but anyway, let's look at November 3rd. Okay, And the next one is CSP. I just want to mention, do not waste your vote. I think if you care about your country, of course, it's also my residency country. Currently, I'm a resident here, right? I'm not a citizen, but I care about my environment. I care about the USA. I love here. So you do not waste your power to change the world. You want to maintain, okay, you want to change, but anyway, it's change, right? If you maintain, it will make it better, make it worse. If you don't change, you make it better or worse. So I think I also found some personal videos just mentioned about. In fact, only 50% of the U.S. citizens voted, and then in fact, a president is decided by half. Cut. That means only 1/4, 25% will decide a president. So do not waste your rights. If I have the right, definitely I will vote. Okay, especially now if you can use a mail-in vote. Do not waste. Okay, express your voice. This related to your future. Like in the last class, I mentioned about the virus. It's related to your health. You need to be very, very, very careful. And this is related to your future because it may change the world, change the country as well. So it will have impact on your future anyway. So in this democratic country, you have the rights. In our country, I don't have the rights. I can tell you, we are represented by a group of people we don't know. I didn't vote for them, but they are designed by the government. Okay, so you have the right. If you don't use the right, that's a pity. Okay, I want to express my right anyway. Even I lose, if I lose for that one, if I win, that's okay. But if I lose, but I show my attitude and situation, right? Oh, okay, this is something else. Okay, the first game we talk about many examples, and also the most important thing is that maybe this is also a very popular thing. In fact, we use the adversary search algorithm to develop the GAN. I mentioned maybe before, right? The GAN model, in fact, is also used the adversary search. But first, you have two parties, the computer. I said both of them will be excellent as possible. And then for the GAN, you have a generator and discriminator. Both want to defeat the other, and then both need to be more and more powerful till they reach a state which is stable. So it already reached a level which can cheat people, cheat humans. So that's why we use the GAN to generate data. Okay, I also use the GAN to develop a project which is just generate sketches, scene like our bedroom, cut, bedroom and office and classroom, this restaurant. Generate a scene sketch based on scene images. The problem is that we don't have many scene sketches online. Sketches, object sketches, we have a lot. People draw a sketch, but a scene sketch we don't have many. So that's why I want to generate the data for my further research. I have the scene sketch based 3D scene retrieval, but we don't have many 3D scene sketches for training. So that's why we do that. And finally, we generate a large amount of scene sketches. And then the paper is on the review. I think we will continue the research on this field. It's also interesting. Okay. If you know Daniel Magagogi, and he ever did research with this in this field, Daniel, maybe he taught you one course, cat. Maybe it's computer network, computer architecture, maybe that one. Okay, maybe something else. If I'm wrong. Okay, And then the other one, just forgot to mention this CSP. This one is like you have a map, and then you have 50 states, correct? USA states. You want to color different states using different color, and how many colors you need to do, and how to do the coloring. So this is called a constraint satisfaction problem, CSP. Okay, we'll do this one. So that means you still do the search, but you have some constraints to meet. So the search must meet each two labeling states. They cannot use the same color, correct? Each two labeling, any two, correct? Maybe one state has a separate labeling state. Okay. And the next one, the third topic is about learning, machine learning. Basically, we'll introduce the learning first, and after that we'll talk about deep learning techniques. Like the first one, we talk about neural networks. So overall, neural networks is like we want to simulate our brain. We call it ANN, artificial neural networks. I mentioned one example before, correct? You have layers. Though our brain is not like that one layer by layer, but this is like a simplification of our brain. You have layers of neurons, and each two labeling layers, they can connect to each other. Whether you want to have connection or not is decided by you. And then you can train the data into these neural networks to get the weight to connect the two neurons in labeling layers. So after training, you get a model. We call it model, means trained model. So you get all the neurons, which type of neurons, and what type of activation function, and what type of weights. The most important is weights. Okay. So in the past, this one is not new. In 1970s, around that time, people already proposed neural networks, but it was only have limited success. The reason is that at that time, the computational power is limited, the data is limited, so we can only have limited performance. Limited data, that means it will affect the performance. Limited limited computational power, you cannot have many layers because that will be very slow, so it will be useless. For example, you want to do prediction, it takes maybe 1 hour, but prediction, maybe that thing is already happened, correct, within 1 hour, so you cannot do in a real time. But now we have data, we have computational power, we have good algorithms for training. So that's why deep neural networks, that's another name for deep learning. The deep learning means deep neural networks. Deep, we need to consider deep is just, it seems like this only the data is the network itself. So the deep here, whether you can adopt deep is not or not, because you have large amount of data, you have a computational power. So the deep here, you may also need to consider input and running resources, correct? So here the deep means the network is deep, and also we have a large amount of data. You have a good computational power, GPU, correct? Data, big data. So deep neural network, why it becomes popular in recently, starting from 2011? The reason is that before that we don't have such requirement ready. Now we have data, computational power, good algorithms. Due to that, experts, kind of I mentioned Hinton and Joshua, kind like those persons, they contribute a lot in developing good training algorithms in this field. And then CNN, I mentioned, specialized on visual information processing, so it must use convolution to extract features. That's normal in processing data, like a Fourier transform. Okay, Fourier transform in processing signals, signal processing, and the GAN game. So this is we mentioned, utilize is a special deep learning network. Just use the deep learning. Use the two networks compete each other. In fact, this is also proposed by the good fellow, by the author of that book. Still remember the Bible book. So it's I think it's also in 2013, maybe 13 or 15 or 16 at that time, quite very popular. Even till now, this is still a very hot topic. And then another hot topic is reinforcement learning. Especially like we want to teach robot to learn by itself. And then next things we mentioned ethics and natural language processing. These are two things we want to cover if we have time. And then computer vision, if we have time we cover it. Robotics, if we have time we cover it. We need to miss a star here. But the natural language processing and the ethics, definitely we want to cover the ethics. Okay, this is the syllabus part. I think I already mentioned most of the important content, and then the rest is that only maybe you need to point out in the syllabus some missing information which is not in the slides. Okay, some contact information: my office in the Science Building 105, email, mobile phone, telephone. Okay, URL. This one. Okay, this is seems like you can read it by yourself. This is just explain what is data structure. Like these things, data aggregations. You may infer such things. That's why we list it here. Course contents. So it's about computer representation of knowledge, problem solving. But this one maybe we didn't cover the representation of knowledge. Automated, but this is based on catalog. Okay, and our target here. Okay, we mentioned this one. So the goal of AI is the design of agents that can behave rationally in the real world by sensing their environment, playing their goals, and acting to maximally achieve these goals. So this is how we define the target of an AI system or AI agent. So the goal is to have these things. So we want to design agents. How to measure the performance of agents? We said is acting rationally. So we said behave rationally. So when we talk about chapter 1, we have 4 definitions for AI. What is AI? So we have thinking and acting rationally, and what's the other one? Reasonably. Yeah, the other one is reasonably. So that means we have 4 combinations. But in fact, the acting is better rather than thinking, because thinking is not easy to measure. So we prefer acting rationally, also not rationally, reasonably. Okay, better than reasonably. Rationally, we have for some subjective, objective measure to gauge whether this is rational or not. Okay, in the real world, that means it has the environment. Sensing the environment. Sensing environment, that means you have some sensors which can perceive information from the environment, and then you can take action. Okay? And playing their goals. This is called planning agents. If we can do some planning. Maybe we also don't have time to cover the planning agents. And acting to maximally achieve these goals. This is based on maybe utility. We want to maximize the utility function. Okay, this I think we already covered. Okay, the things we have mentioned. So this is all the same. Okay, textbook, same. Outcome. Okay, let's look at this one. So it's the basis, the first one is learn the basics, and the basics of the theory and the practice of this one. Both concepts and the theory are important. And then this one is Python, we mentioned. Okay? Apply the knowledge, maybe we didn't cover this one. But problem solving strategy, we use the search. design simple software to this one projects. Okay, build self-learning and research skills to be able to tackle a topic. So have the deep understanding about some topic, like deep learning, reinforcement learning, and so on. Okay, every teaching hour you need to spend another 2 or 3 hours. This is my expectation. Okay, and if you want to restore the course without problem, you need to do that by October 23, but you will cannot receive any tuition and feedback. You may need to do, if you want to withdraw without sacrifice in the tuition, you have to do that 24, correct? That's correct. Full term 24, so it means next Monday, correct? So this is the introduction lecture, which is good for you to refer. I hope everybody can finish this course without dropping from it, and then you find that it's fruitful and also beneficial for you. Because if you skip this one, maybe you need to wait for another year, and then you have less time to learn before your graduation, correct? For this field, AI. Okay. And then this season is already there. Okay, grading. So I will just use a weighted sum and then round it towards to the closest integer, and then based on this grading system to assign the grade. Okay. Class attendance I mentioned using Canvas regular Canvas access activities is required. Okay, this I mentioned. Okay, do not do any cheating. This is a penalty, maybe some reporting as well. So for this one, I want to enhance a little bit. So due to this COVID-19 issue, maybe I will consider your special needs, maybe grant 1 day or several hours more. So you need to send me email. Excuse me. But do not take this advantage as advantage. Try to finish your project or homework on time. Okay, and basically, yeah, you have to have a reasonable excuse for the extension. Otherwise, you need to submit by the deadline. Okay. Though I always not closely follow this late policy, but do not take advantage about this current situation to always delay your submission. Okay, so arrange your time in a wise way, and then concentrate on your work. Do the things in advance. Do not wait till last day or last 7 days. Do it as early as possible. Okay, this is my suggestion. And then we have this one we mentioned, integrity. Some supporting resources, same as previous ODA and the GAPAC, they changed the academic service ASC, Success Center. Somebody told me writing is great. They are helpful or not. So they have a new website. Just make sure you click this one and register account for this. Okay. And mental issue, just call the related resources and let me know. Okay, everybody will help you. Okay, so these things we already mentioned, covered. This is a tentative schedule, just cover all the modules here. And then usually we have homework and assignments, scattered along the time. So usually each homework is due in 1 week. Each programming assignment is due in 3 or 4 weeks. Due in 1 week does not mean just you must submit from the beginning of the chapter and then the module, because when a module maybe cover 7 chapters, okay? So during finish one chapter, I will assign some questions. Maybe I will release all the questions. So 1 week means that after we finish all the contents, and then after 1 week you need to submit your homework. So each time I will set the time for the deadline. Okay, deadline time for homework. Similarly for assignments. Okay, so just starting from the end, from the finish time, we count how many weeks you need to finish. 3 to 4 weeks after finish the related contents, and then you have 3 to 4 weeks. Overall, this semester is very short. Okay, it's shorter than before. We started early and then we skipped the fall break. So in total, we have 13 classes. So we have a relatively faster pace. So we need to adjust as well, even more adaptable. Okay, you need to learn the things, prepare the things beforehand. It's very like a Python and the related knowledge. Make it ready before you start the project. I will release the projects as early as possible. Yeah, just make you have a good early start. Okay, I think that's all for this syllabus. And during this rest week, you need to just prepare well for the related things I mentioned. Okay? The website, related knowledge, programming languages, and so on. And then also if you have a book, just start to read the book. Okay, and the next week we'll cover the chapters. So when we cover the chapters, maybe we'll do quickly. So in the initial week, the first week, usually I want to give you an overall idea about the course. You know what will be the structure of the course, give you an idea, also motivate your study. Okay, and then you know the whole picture, you know where to go, where to pay attention to, what's the important things, and which things are challenging for you. So this is my target, okay, for this first week. Okay, that's all for this week. Have a nice weekend. See you next week.